Shabbat, Shabbat, Adonai. Welcome to the Sixth Exodus program. Thank you for listening again. This segment here is called Ezekiel's Vision. Okay, let's begin. I want to tell you uh, this message, subtitle message. This message is called The Priest of God to the priests of God. Okay, I need you to listen and pay attention to me very closely. Okay. This message is for my brothers. I need to tell you something very important. Um, my name is, my Hebrew name is Yeshurun. My surname is Uriel. And marvel not when I tell you these things. I am he with seven eyes. If you read the Bible, then you will know who I am. I am he with seven eyes. Now, listen to me now. I need to talk to all of you priests of God. You need to do something for me. I need you to read the book of Ezekiel, chapter 40 through 48. Okay, now let's begin. I'm going to tell you what I need to say. I want to make this segment as short as possible, but I need to tell you some things. Now, um, people of God, Hebrew Israelites, um, many of you eyes are open and you know who you are. That's good. Um, the purpose for God wakening you up is not just because you know that you are Hebrews and also that you might be sealed, the 144,000 that you might be sealed, but also you need to know your responsibilities as priests. Now, I want to tell you about Ezekiel's vision. The God of heaven and earth, the God of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has called many of us to be priests. There are two different types of priests. They are the priests of Levi and they are the priests of Zadok. Um, as you read or listen to the scriptures that I ask you to read and or listen to, um, you will understand what I'm telling you in Ezekiel's vision. Now, God gave this vision to Ezekiel roughly about the year 2205 BC. But this is the vision of Ezekiel for the millennial age, or what we call millennial age, or what is commonly known as the millennial age. What it is, this building is a temple for the Lord to dwell among us. But people of God, you have a great responsibility of being God's priest. Now, let me tell you the difference between the priest and what has happened over time. When you read the scriptures, you will know for yourself. But they are the sons of Zadok. Okay, the sons of Zadok. And you don't know who you are, okay? You don't know who you are. We have been spread abroad. But God knows every hair on our head. He knows all the priests. And he knows all the lineage of our forefathers. Even the kingship of David. He knows who we are. So when he come back, you should not be confounded. And you will keep your temples clean. Now, that goes from the old to the young. Marvel not when I tell you these things, because God has a calling on your life. He know who you are, and you have to keep the temple of God. Now, let me tell you the sons of Zadok first. The sons of Zadok. Okay, as I said, you don't know who you are. None of us know who we are because God has spread us abroad throughout the whole earth. So when you hear this message, you will know this message is for you. Now, the sons of Zadok are the sons that prepare the fat and the blood for the Lord our God. You go into the presence of the Lord. You will go into the presence of our God. Okay, there are certain clothes that you need to wear. There are certain things you need to do. Okay, I will teach you what you need to do when we go into the temple of the Lord. Your clothing, your dressing, and what you need to do. So don't worry about that. God has given me 7 eyes, so I can see these things and I know what to do. So that's why I'm telling you now. Okay, now the sons of Zadok, you need to live holy. I mean, because you go into the presence of the Lord, and you should not drink any wine anymore. Do not drink any wine anymore. If you like to drink wine, that's all right. But when you are performing duties before God, you cannot drink any wine. So you need to cultivate your body now. So I'm telling you now, do not drink any wine because you can take that taste out of your mouth. Because when you minister to God, He will smote you because you cannot drink in front of God. You understand? Now, the reason why you are the sons of Zadok is because your forefathers stayed and ministered unto God in 70 AD when when the Romans invaded our country. The sons of Levi, however, who had the charge of taking care of God and ministering to God, God don't want them to minister unto Him as far as bringing Him the fat. You know, the Bible said all the fat belongs to the Lord. So the altar sacrifices, they are required, and God will dwell in the midst of us from now on. So the temple we have to build. Did you hear that? The temple we have to build, and also now the sons of Levi. I will tell you who you are. Sons of Levi. There's a covenant that God has always had with you. You are descendants of Aaron. Okay. Now the reason why you um, sons of Levi, you have the charge of keeping the house now. You're responsible for keeping the temple, and your responsibility is for staying inside the chambers and taking care of the house of God. It's somewhat of a punishment to you because your forefathers left God's presence when the Romans invaded Jerusalem in 70 AD. So you have the responsibility of keeping the house. Now, there are gates to the temple. There's the east gate, the north gate, the south gate. There is no west gate because the west gate will be in the rear of the temple. It's where the galleries will be. Okay, so there's east. The east gate is only for the Most High to enter into, and also the prince can enter into. The prince will pray at the doorpost as the priest make the sacrifices for him. Now, the responsibility of the Levites, you will be inside the gates. There are 6 chambers inside of each gate, or 6 small rooms. They are 1 cubit, 1 cubit long, and 1 cubit wide. That's about 20 yards, or 20, it'd be 18 to 20 meters in length, and it's a standing it's a standing post. In each one of the temples, there's a gate, the east gate, the north gate, the south gate, and inside those rooms. Now, I want to tell you, your responsibility is to keep security for the Lord and to keep the house of the Lord. And when their sacrifices are to be made, when Gentiles and when we have the different feasts, like the Feast of Tabernacle and the Sabbath, you are uh, to make the sacrifices for the people. There will be tables set on the outside of the temple, and your responsibility to kill the sacrifices and to cut them and to cut their uh, their body parts, separating the fats from the kidneys and the liver, and to place them upon the altar. Um, I will show you how to do all those things. So don't worry if you never killed an animal before. Neither have I. But I know all these things. That's why I'm telling you. Okay. Also, I want to tell you about the ark. You can read it for yourself, but I don't want to tell you about the buildings. Now, there are different buildings, and the configuration of the building is quite unique. Um, when you come into the building yourself, depending on what gate you come in on, the temple itself, where the Lord dwells, is a temple. There are certain requirements of the buildings, of the walls of the buildings, the porches, and the length of the building, the thickness of the walls. All those things are important. As you read it, you can know for yourself. I'm not going to tell you the details as far as the walls, the lengths of the walls, or anything like that. You can know that yourself. I'm just here to tell you about your responsibility as a priest. Now, as far as the priests, the sons of Levi, there are at least 90, 90 priests that need to be, as far as my figuring, there needs to be at least 90 priests inside the temple of Levi. The priests of Levi need to be at least 90. The way I calculate it, now the configurations are for the floor, the diagrams for the floor, is there three floors. There's also 3 floors for the sons of Zadok, but their floors can be able to go in and out of the temple of God, and there are walkways, stairs, and balconies for them to walk into. Also, the 144,000 will be able to walk inside, to go inside and to worship inside the temple. It's called the Mave, the Mave. The Mave, the 144,000 will be able to go inside the Mave to worship inside the temple of the Lord. Okay. Now, the sons of Zadok will be able to go inside and minister unto the Lord. There's a table that's inside the temple of the Lord. It's three by 2 meters tall. It looks like the shape of an ark, but it's a table where you will minister unto God when you go inside the temple. I will tell you this more later. When we start actually doing the sacrifices, but when you have the charger, you will place the charger there. You will not go inside the temple, but you will put um, what God requests on the charger, and you will place it on this table. It's 3 by 2 meters high. Okay, now um, now as far as the sons of Levi, your rooms are 3 floors high. The way I calculate it, there needs to be at least 20 rooms on the third floor, 16 rooms on the second floor, and 12 rooms on the first floor, because there needs to be a barber shop, a laundry, and a linen room on the floors, or at least on one floor. Okay, so also there needs to be a changer of guard. There needs to be 72 priests on duty at one time. Now, to be able to rotate shifts back and forth and to be able to sleep in between, you need to be able to have security and to be able to eat. Now, the way I calculate it is there need to be at least 3 cooks cooking for breakfast, noon, and evening, and also I thought about midnight rats or midnight rations for the priests that are exchanging duties. Okay. Also, there are 3 staffs that need to be on duty as security. You need to have a lieutenant that's in the guard house. You need to have a sergeant that posts uh, the priest on duty, and you need to have at least a corporal that relieve them of bathroom and water breaks. Okay, so when we exchange duty, then the other priest will come on duty, and then you will go to rest. So there need to be at least 45 priests on duty at one time, and 90 for that total day, and there will be 90 sleeping rooms for the sons of Levi, and 20 rooms for the sons of Zadok. They will also be on the north and the west side of the temple of the Lord. Now the temple is built like a man's body, and the shoulders or the shoulder parts on the left and the right side of the temple of the Lord are the sons of, or the arms are the sons of Zadok, and the feet, which are uh, closer to the east gate, are the legs of the Lord. So each building will have 3 floors, and each floor we are ministers unto the Lord. Okay, so again, I need you to read Ezekiel's vision. Ezekiel starting with chapter 40 and going to 48. Also, there is a river. Well, it's going to be a small stream The stream, it flows from the temple of God, and the, it's a small stream. Going every 1,000 meters, the stream will grow deeper and wider. Every thousand meters, it will grow thicker. And as it gets to the Jordan River, now what's going to happen? I want to tell you there's going to be a great earthquake in Jerusalem, and because there's going to be a splitting of the Mount of Olives. Because when my Father comes back, he's going to step foot on the Mount of Olives, and there's going to be a great earthquake. And you know what happens when the plates in an earthquake? What happens with the water where it flows to? And so, um, when this happens, then um, when the mountains when the mountains split, and on top of the Mount of Olives there will be a place to build the temple of the Lord. And so, when after the earthquake happened, there will be a place to build the temple of the Lord. And so, the Lord will make these things happen. Okay, but I need to tell you these things so you know your responsibility, so you can prepare yourself as ministers of God. Now, none of us know who we are, but all of us need to cultivate our lives to be ministers of God and to minister unto Him day one. That means when God redeems us, we need to make a sacrifice unto the Lord, our God. We need to make atonement for our sins. We need to make atonement for the temple, and we need to make atonement for the congregation. Now, do not argue with me about grace, okay? We are not under grace. That's a Gentile religion that the Gentiles have made up, that they live by. The children of Israel, we are still under the covenant, okay? I don't want you to be confounded about these things, and I don't want you to be embarrassed about these things, okay? So, I have told you all I need to tell you, and I'm not telling you to keep the blood off my hand. I'm telling you because I know these things, and I know I have to tell you these things because all of us are scattered throughout the world. And so you are priests and kings. So we don't know who we are. So we should not call ourselves kings or priests. That's God's responsibility. But we should live our lives now while we are in Egypt as kings and priests because we have to minister before Him. We are the only family God has ever had in this world. And our forefathers were His family. And we will never abandon our God anymore. I will tell you more when it's time for us to come together and when we have to make oblations to the God. Now, when we get there, as I said, also the sons of Levi, when we arrive there and when we appoint different jobs to everyone, we will have a forester, and a forester will have the different types of wood that we need to burn unto the Lord, whatever He wants us to have. There will be the cedar tree, the sycamore tree, the shittim tree, and the cypress tree. All those woods will be kept in a storage in the courtyard, on the inner courtyard for the sacrifice. Also, a fire must be burned at all times, and also the ashes have to be removed. I will show you all these things, and the fire will never go out. So this is also the charge of the priests of Levi to keep the fire of the temple burning at all times. Okay, now, um, when we arrive there, we will most likely have to go and cut the wood ourselves. But don't worry about that. I know how to cut wood. Um, we have the different types of wood that God would want us to keep there. As I said, the cedar tree, the olive tree, the sycamore tree, the cypress tree. Those are the woods, the different types of woods that are in Israel. So we will keep those different types of wood, whatever the Lord requests for us to burn, and whatever the order that He wants. We will keep that order going as long as the Lord wants us to. So this is our responsibility as priests of Levites and the sons of Zadok. Is your responsibility to minister unto God, to go into His presence. Okay, I'm going to end this segment. Okay, be blessed and keep your temples a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. I love you, my brothers. Take care of yourself. Be strong. Be encouraged. If now I don't know what you know concerning the Word of God, but this you need to know. Um, if they arrest us, now the devil is not going to play fair. The devil knows he only has a short time, and he hate us. Now you know this. They've been killing our black people for a long time. So, but don't worry, you be encouraged because you are the apple of God's eye. So you be strong. If they arrest you, just be strong. According to the scriptures, they can hold us. They're gonna hold us 10 days. But whatever happen, you be strong. Never deny our God, and never worship and bow down to idols. We know what the idol is. We know what the image of the beast is. So be strong, my brothers. If we don't see you soon, we'll see you in the sky. Be blessed, priests of God. God is going to do a great work before our eyes. Okay, be blessed. Love you.